Hey, so it's a minimum day. My kids get out at noon, so I've got all three kids. It was a fundraiser day for their like jogathon thing, and they throw like colored chalk cornstarch at them, like so everybody's just like covered in these in like rainbow colors when you get done. So I had to get them home and then throw all of them in the shower because they were just like covered in this stuff I didn't want it in my house. And then slide in here, and I already had like my laptop prepped and everything, and like everything ready to go on the recording. Hey Teddy, welcome. 13th Graze. This is our second Graze in like 36 hours, which is crazy.
Wow.
So we're just rocking them out here. Let me move Panda up. I don't know if he's going to be able to talk or not in Hoth. And today we've got Teddy from Notional. This is Teddy's second appearance. He's a repeat customer.
Keeps coming back. What's up, Teddy?
Can't get enough.
That's right. Happy to be back.
Give me that free ARBI money in my pocket.
Yep.
Give me some of that STIP stuff. So they gave you that grant when ARBI was at like 14 cents, and now it's at like $3, right? So you're rich.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for me, we don't get to keep any of it, and it just means more for all you guys.
That's good though. So it goes to the users.
Yeah. Okay, so
turn this music off for you. I got your website up, obviously, as usual. I'll stop. Are you planning on screen sharing at all during the call, Teddy?
Yeah, I was thinking that might make things a little easier.
Okay, cool. I just dropped off the stream. So that might change the volume and stuff too a little bit. It usually like kind of screws with my volume. So anyway, you did, for people that didn't do the last call or do the test run, Notional did a incentivized deal for us where we were able to join into one of their competitions they did for yield. And they had 3 different tiers of prizes that they gave out for like their that was like your V1 rollout launch test on ARBI, right?
Yeah, that was like that was our beta on Arbitrum. So that was, what was that, like 4 months ago, maybe?
I have no idea. It feels like it's been years.
Yeah.
We've lived like several lifetimes since then.
Yeah.
It was back when Bitcoin was in like the 20s.
Yeah, it's a lifetime ago, right? It's like more than 1 week, less than 5 years, somewhere in there.
So it was badass. It was like there was crazy leverage. There was like you could loan money out, and like they had different competitions for you guys like offered different incentives for different styles of using the Notional platform. And I just left everything on. Like I had like March and April calls I sold or something, and it's still on there, like ticking. I'm still getting notes. Like I'm just minting free money out of the deal. So I just left the position on.
Yeah,
and we roll off.
And we can't forget that someone from the community got the last place NFT last time around.
The sad sack.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
The award for the worst performance was given to a llama. So we excel at underperformance.
I mean, that was pretty much the Kevin NFT too, and now that's iconic. So I mean, it could be a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I was rooting for you guys. I was rooting for one of you guys to win. I guess you just didn't win one of the prizes that I was thinking of.
Well, you told me that the guy that won it, number one, he's not US based, so he was able to use leverage. So that was step one, the correct position to be in. And then he was borrowing from himself. He had like multiple different wallets, and he was like issuing debt and then borrowing it from himself and pumping his.
Oh, is this the conspiracy theory?
Yes.
Was this?
This is not the conspiracy. This is reality.
I remember this now. So a llama through the competition, right? He's like, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I remember that. Yeah. I don't have the details, but I do remember that maybe some fishy behavior.
Yeah, it wasn't technically illegal. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it's all
For those of you that
it's-
also that are listening for the first time to Teddy and don't know him, he's of the that mindset where you're never truly exploiting, because if it's in the code, it's meant to be used. So it's not, you're not actually stealing from Compound. You're just using the code as it was intended to steal from customers and give it to Russian hackers. Teddy doesn't actually believe that. I thought it was a kind of a funny stance. So what have you guys been doing since the beta?
Well, I mean, so since the beta, we've just been like scaling up the product suite and fixing a lot of the UI issues. Like, I think we made a ton of progress on Arbitrum since I think the last time we did this. Like, we currently have 9 currencies. We got the TVL's up to like 13.5 million around there, and got $45 million in debt outstanding right now, which is pretty cool. And
13 million in TVL and 45 million in debt. Sounds like the U.S. government. I like this.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Yeah.
What currencies did you say, or can you list them off? Like which ones you guys have enabled?
Yeah, so we have let's see. So we have ETH, DAI, USDC, WBTC, Wrap Staked ETH, FRAX, RETH, USDT, CBETH, and we actually have, I forgot about these. We have GMX, ARB, Radiant, Uni, Link, LDO.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we really scaled up the currency set. Now, not all of those are like have fixed rates, but some but like the ARB and the Radiant, Uni, Link, and LDO, those are mainly like to be used as collateral.
So does ARBI, are they incentivizing you to do they want to create ARB as like as a collateral token? Like, are they paying you guys to do that incentives?
No. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, we haven't seen anything like that from Arbitrum so far, to be honest. I haven't seen like a push to make ARB, money or something like that in the way that Ethereum is used. But that's an interesting idea. Yeah.
So their incentive to you for the STIP or whatever it's called that they gave you the grant for is you're going to pay this back to users as incentivized against like your positions that you put on.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess maybe I should just say a little, like, for if you guys aren't aware, there's this big thing called the STIP, the Short-Term Incentive Program on Arbitrum. And basically, well, I'm sure you guys all know, but I'll just repeat this. So basically, there is a forum post went up and got voted through, authorizing the Arbitrum DAO to spend I think it was 75 million ARB or some just pretty big amount, which is, today that's like $150 million. And all those, it's like a lot, right? And basically it was all authorized to be given to protocols on Arbitrum to incentivize users on their platforms, right? And so basically, you had a bunch of protocols, including Notional, apply for a portion of these funds. And, we proposed a plan, or what we were going to do, and how, what it would bring to Arbitrum and all this stuff. And then basically Arbitrum just gave all the protocols all this ARB and kind of with the idea that, you're going to incentivize usage on your protocol. Hopefully it's good for the builders and also, great for the users, right? Because people get to incentivize to try new things and also, get a lot of ARB. So, Yeah, so we Notional got 500,000 ARB. That was our grant, which is about $1 million. And we've been distributing that for the past, I think, like 6 weeks. And we're going to be giving the rest of it away over the next 6 weeks. So we're about halfway through our distribution. And so, we wanted to put together like a yield contest while we've got these ARB incentives flowing. And basically the idea is like, this is a great time for people to engage with Notional, like use the products and like, because like all the yields are super high, right? Because everything's incentivized with ARB. And then we're putting this extra contest on top where like, all right, if you get the highest yields out of anybody, we're going to give you an extra, like our top prize is 1,000 ARB. So if you earn the highest yield, you're going to get 1,000 ARB. And we have basically 2 prize categories. So we dropped the sad sack category from this contest. Sorry about that. I know that was a kind of a fan favorite. But we dropped that, and
Oh, there goes my chance to win anything.
Yeah, well, hey, come on. Like, I think you guys have a great chance. So, don't, let's stop with the negative self-talk. I think, so we have 2 categories. There's the high roller category, which is like earning the highest yield using leverage. And then there's the category, the fat cat, which is earning the highest yield without leverage. So for each category, we have 3 prizes, 1,000 ARB, 250 ARB, and 100 ARB to the top 3 participants or winners in each category. And then we have a special thing for llamas, right? So basically, the top llama in each category is going to earn 4,000 note, in addition to maybe winning the grand prizes. So, but it's a guaranteed 8,000 note are going to llamas. So the top performing llama in each category gets a 4,000 note prize.
Nice.
And yeah.
So it's like a no-brainer for us to go play it, go play around. And size doesn't matter again, right? Like is it based by APYs and by percentages?
Yeah, it's all based on APYs. So I think like this time we're doing, I think the minimum size is like $100. So you have to put like $100 in there minimum, and then it beyond that it doesn't matter. So it's not like somebody's going to put $1 million in there and just blow you out of the water. Like it's really not important. But this is kind of like, because last time we had an issue where like somebody put in like 50 cents and was just like earning these ridiculous yields because like they'd earned a fraction of a penny, and Notional rounded up or something, and then their APY was like 1,000,000%. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time.
That was probably Cogsy, to be honest. But yeah, just a quick question. So on these llamas only prizes, is there a cutoff to acquire a llama? Does it have to be by the time that the contest kicks off?
No, so there's no cutoff. So you just basically what you need to do to participate is we have let me just drop this link in the chat. So we have like a landing page for this contest. Let me just drop it in right here. And in order to participate, you need to sign up. So you need to connect with the wallet. And in order to get in the special llama prize category, you need to connect with the wallet that's holding a llama. So yeah, you can, it's not, if you want to go out and you want to compete in this, but you don't have a llama yet, you can go out and buy a llama and then compete. Yeah.
Awesome.
I was just reading through it.
Oh yeah, just real quick, I'm just curious, Teddy, as you guys have like now gone live and you've kind of like been live and you're in a growth mode, what is the currency that you're that's the most used on your platform? Is it ETH, or is there like a surprise one?
Yeah, you know, actually, so it's ETH and USDC, ETH and USDC by a long shot. Yeah,
Cool.
and to
That makes sense.
Yeah, so well, it was actually surprising to me because I wasn't sure. Like, I actually thought like LSDs were going to be more used than ETH. But because I was sort of figuring like, okay, well, if people are super into DeFi and they're using kind of new protocols, they're probably really into DeFi, and I just assumed that, oh, of course you'd have your ETH staked in an LSD. Like, why wouldn't you? But that is definitely like not proven true. I think that there's, most people still like definitely don't have all their ETH staked in an LSD. And it's like by far the most, like the ETH pages get the most page views on Notional by far. Yeah.
Interesting. And then as a LR keys come on to Arbitrum, are you planning to onboard those as well?
Yes. Yes. So we are figuring out like our kind of liquid restaking token strategy right now. So it's actually like it's an interesting question because like one thing I would just say off the bat is that these people talk about it on Twitter a lot, the restaking thing, and there's a ton of hype and attention. But these projects are very early stage. So I think it's important to remember that. So like most of the liquid restaking tokens don't have redemptions enabled, for example, right? In fact, I think only EETH from EtherFi, that's the only one that actually has redemptions enabled, which is just like it's interesting. And it's indicative of like the fact that they're very early stage. And that really matters for Notional, like, if we're going to be taking these tokens as collateral, we need to be sure that like we can liquidate and like really sort of like understand the risks that we're taking. So I've been digging into like these different projects and like figuring out what is going to be the best model. I think that where we're going with this is primarily, at least in the near term, this is going to happen on L1, so not on Arbitrum. And the reason for that is because, like for example, EtherFi redemptions are only on mainnet, right? So there are no redemptions on Arbitrum. And most of the liquid restaking tokens are only on Ethereum right now. So I think in the near term, it's primarily going to be on L1 and not on L2. So that's one thing. And then kind of what we're thinking about our general strategy is going to be, we're going to create a vault that's going to allow users to borrow ETH from Notional and mint EETH with that ETH. And then basically, once you do that, you get to earn the EIGEN and EtherFi points, right? So you're sort of paying ETH interest, and in exchange, you're getting EIGEN and EtherFi points.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. This is like the most exciting thing I've heard all week. Okay, hold on a second. So you guys are going to do this after the contest is over with. So we're going to be able to borrow ETH on Arbitrum on L2.
On L1, so on mainnet to start.
Oh, do you guys have? I didn't even know you had like a mainnet like profile. Okay, I didn't even know that you guys did that. Okay, so you're gonna be able to. What are you depositing?
Cogsy, shame.
I've only ever used it on Arbitrum. I didn't even know they had like anything on mainnet. So what do you borrow the ETH against? What am I depositing as my collateral?
Well, so you actually don't need to deposit anything. So basically, this is what's called the leveraged vault on Notional. So you're borrowing the ETH, turning it into EETH, and then that EETH that you turned it into is collateral for the ETH you borrowed, right? So you don't actually, it's actually like very, very like capital efficient for you, right? So you can just like, you come to Notional with 1 ETH, you can borrow 5 ETH and then mint 6 ETH of EETH, and Notional holds that EtherFi ETH as collateral against the ETH debt.
And my wallet continues to accrue eigenlayer points. So it's eigenlayer points as a service.
Yeah. So basically you pay the ETH interest and you get in return eigenlayer and EtherFi points.
What is the borrow rate on that? Can you do like a E mode like Aave, or are you guys still working that out?
Yeah, so that's what this leverage, that's like what leverage vaults are, right? Is like it's kind of like it's like very, very capital efficient. So you're going to be able to use a lot of leverage when you do this. So that's quite cool. Now, as when it comes to like what's the borrow rate, it's going to be sort of just the market interest rate for ETH on Notional. So it depends like.
What is that right now?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, it's maybe 5%.
But you guys will see a huge, when you roll this out, you'll see a huge spike in traffic and demand, which will drive the price up, the rates up, right? For a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I'm expecting. I really, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, but yeah, I think I am expecting like a spike in demand.
If you were going to do that today and you went and borrowed Curve USD against another token, and then you went and bought ETH and staked it on Eigenlayer, it's locked up, right? So you cannot be liquidated?
Yeah, so all right, so basically so we haven't like fully worked out the details here. I mean, so the thing is like you're borrowing ETH against EETH, against EtherFi ETH. So if the price of EtherFi ETH goes down, you could get liquidated, depending on how much leverage you take. But EtherFi ETH is directly redeemable for ETH, right? So like
it's the only one.
Yeah, so the price of EtherFi ETH like shouldn't go down, right? Because it's like directly redeemable for ETH.
Okay.
But this is crypto.
This is wild. So. This is well, I mean, and the peg. There's a peg, right? There's a peg risk.
Yes, that's correct. That's I mean, so this is
I'm trying to wrap my head around how I'm gonna get more eigenlayer points than Irate with less money. That's my personal competition that I'm doing right now.
Gotta make it all back with one highly leveraged vault.
Make it all back. This is it. I'm going to catch up to the fact that we missed out on this entire bull market.
Oh God! Well, I hope you guys haven't. I mean, I'm sure you haven't missed out. Come on! Don't tell me you're sidelined.
All my money's in llamas. You can ask Hop how
that's pretty good, man. Those things are denominated in ETH. Hey,
they are. Pretty well. I didn't think about that. All right, sorry. So I got way sidetracked on your eigenlayer farming. This is, of course, I find the thing that's most exciting to me. But we got to talk about your the current growth, like of what's happened since the end of the last contest, going into this one. So you said 15 million AUM, right? Or 15 million like locked up TVL.
Yeah, well, it's about 13.5, but yeah.
And so and it was at 0 when we started the last contest. So I mean, you just you guys have started from scratch and gotten up to here. How did the 500,000 ARB grant compare to the other platforms? Like, how much did Camelot get?
I think Camelot got I think they got like 7 million or something.
7 million
got
ARB.
Some ridiculous amount. Yeah. So I think like 500,000 ARB is like relatively like pretty small.
Well, it's concentrated for your customers then. I mean, it's like, or for the users.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, so if you guys check out the site, like the yield opportunities because of this ARB grant are really high, right? So just like without any leverage, you can get like right now it's like 18% on USDT.
Looking in under
11.
provide liquidity, is that where I should be looking?
Yeah, under provide liquidity, that's what's directly incentivized.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then if you guys want to lever up, if you're comfortable with leverage, you guys can you can lever up that yield a lot and like turn that into like 50% APYs, right? Which is what I'm currently doing. So I'm like, both Notion, both like my own money on Notional, but also like the Notional corporate funds. Like we're levering up on this stuff because it's like it's such and like not crazy leverage, but like it's like a really really good opportunity.
Yeah,
like,
get it while you can for 12 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
16%
So
APY for USDC. The flat variable APR is 1.73, and then there's 15% is note incentive. That's friggin' crazy.
Yeah. Well, it should say ARB incentive. It should say ARB incentive, right?
This one USDC says note incentive. Okay, but no time frame on those. It just went up when I refreshed it. The APY just went up like as I refreshed the page. Like you guys are in the back end dicking with this thing. So the only thing there's zero APY on is wrapped Bitcoin, because as we know, wrapped Bitcoin is the devil.
Oh wait, Cogsy, you're on the mainnet site. I think.
I didn't even know you had a mainnet site. Okay,
yeah. So
my options are mainnet and Gorley testnet.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a little janky right now. You gotta go to the Arbitrum URL.
All right.
We're gonna we have to deploy
50%.
mainnet.
The USDC incentive is 50% is 50% APY or 46% APY.
Yeah,
Dude, I should just go all in stables and just loan money out right now. What am I doing?
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like a really good opportunity. Yeah, and I've been surprised that the yields have really they've held up. It's a really good opportunity. So, so I thought it's a good time for yield contest. Because you guys can figure out how this stuff works and maybe even win a prize. So that's kind of
okay. Quick question about the incentive thing or the contest. Make sure that you verify. We tested your verification process for your llamas. Make sure that you verify that you're a llama holder on the wallet that you're going to farm it on, that you're going to do the contest on. Open the position. The llama will be snapshotted at the time of when you open the position. Correct?
Yeah.
So if you acquire a llama later, you should close out the position and reopen it or whatever, or restart your competition if you buy a llama after.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm going to use this to shill llamas. I know this is out of character, but I'm going to use your ARB incentive to try to sell some llamas.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
It's a great utility. We've been having partners come up with some really creative ideas, and it's a blast to watch and participate in, obviously.
Yeah, well, you guys are great. I mean, for at least from my perspective, it's like the llama holder base. You guys are just great. You're super DeFi native and willing to try new things. I think it just makes a lot of sense.
We just have to blacklist Cogsy's llama, I think, for the next one. That's all.
I got them all over the place. I got llamas I got stacks on stacks all spread all over different wallets because I knew you assholes were going to do this. So in preparation, I got them hidden. I brought in, I tornadoed money in and bought a super secret one and threw it on a burner that nobody knows about. My backup. That's my get out of jail free llama. I said the T word.
Buried it under.
I definitely did not tornado any money in.
Yeah,
Is
come
that
on
the
now.
FBI at your door?
Yeah, I think Teddy kind of seems like he might be a Fed. I mean, this
Oh,
is
come on now. Come on. I'm out here, you know, your friendly DeFi founder. Come on, man.
Yeah, you're not. You're not.
Fed.
You wouldn't like build a project that had like this much leverage if you were a Fed. That
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if it's like Compound or whatever, what's the one that Hawthorne loves? Aave, that one. That's like a Fed protocol. Hey,
Cogsy, you're just trying to backpedal here.
we got a little bit of a AI rally going on today, don't we? Everything else is kind of shit, man.
Well, I mean, I think the last 8 months has been
Just straight
AI
up
rally.
AI.
Well, are you talking about like the Tau token? This is the one I always hear about when they talk about crypto AI.
I'm not allowed to talk about that one.
Yeah.
I can talk about everything but that one.
That's the yeah, that one's like the leader in the market for
Oh,
sure.
I didn't even shill FROK to Teddy. Jesus Christ.
What is it?
We did a venture round. We did an angel round for an AI for Nose. You know Nose from Curve. His AI token. Like it is. I'll tell you about it.
From Llama Risk. Yeah. Do it different.
Oh, cool.
I'll just make Teddy send money directly to Nose's special wallet.
Wait, is the token live? Is the token live or not?
It's not the token. It's supposed to be the next couple days.
The token, yeah, it's like about to be, but it's not quite yet.
Okay. What does it do? Does it do anything,
like,
or is it not? It's just there.
All right, go ahead, Hoth. You can tell him.
Oh, I mean, it's like it will be like they are aiming to be like the on-chain open AI. Like to launch, it will kind of be a little smaller than that. You know, they're not trying to make like $8 trillion or whatever Sam asked for last week. But yeah, like it will be like a tool that will connect crypto communities together, and it will it'll be able to, like, to read docs and like talk to you. You can treat it like a search engine, across discords. It has like a Twitter presence, and you can like pay it to promote your projects, and it's just like how they're approaching it is I think kind of cool to approach it from the like media angle, as it like eats data and begins to get smarter and smarter and then evolves.
All right, so is it like an autonomous economic AI actor that's like got like private keys? Is that like that's I feel like that's like kind of what I'm hearing, and it's like trying to trying to like make money and like do crypto stuff, and like, and is that what it is?
It's not trading tokens. It's trading information. Like it's trying to arbitrage information as opposed to tokens. There's not going to be any trades that happen. It's the sales, the revenue generation comes from like moderation as a service. Okay, there's you could hire it. You pay a fee or whatever, a small fee to have it in your Discord server, and you can set it up as a moderator, and it'd be able to answer like common questions that people have that they constantly ask over and over again in Discord. And then it's going to be the main pitch is that it has memory. So OpenAI and whatever the other one is, they've been like, the Google one have memory turned off because they feel like they're going to save the world by not letting the AI have a memory. And so this one has memory turned on. So that right there in itself is supposed to be the big leap, different than how it's going to be different than all the other bots that we dealt with.
So it's gonna be all right. So it's like it could be a moderator in Notional, and like as people ask questions, it gets better at answering questions because it like has like a history of it like remembers.
Yes.
It remembers.
Yeah, it'll remember how to answer questions better.
And you can like tell it to read your docs, and it will become an expert in your docs, and it can like instantly translate to any language that's online. And so just in that kind of like small perspective as like a founder, I think it's like there's like a pretty cool angle on it.
The fun thing that we're starting first is the like the Discord bridge function that I like to call, that's kind of like what I've named it, but it's going to be us and blockmates. Like we're going to be the two that have FROK inside of our Discord, and it's going to be able to hear conversations, read information in our Discord, and the same thing in blockmates, and you can ask it different questions about different things. It'll feed you information that's happened in different Discords. So instead of just being like relegated to one spot and only having information from that one place, it's going to be able to, hopefully combine information from both Discords.
Oh man, that's cool.
So we're like the test net for that, or whatever you want to call us, crash test dummies, I guess.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that. Crash test dummies.
Okay, sorry, I keep getting sidelined. Okay, what else?
But we keep getting sidetracked. It's just nice to catch up with Teddy.
Hey Teddy, welcome from Notional. Ready for me to pitch you some AI tokens? What are we gonna shill today? Last time Teddy was on, we shilled Solana shitcoin. So today we're doing AI.
Really?
We're just going with
God, that means you should definitely buy FROK then. I mean, if we were shilling Solana shitcoins 4 months ago, I mean that's like pretty good track record. All right.
Oh, dude, Cogsy's track record on just like the random shit he talks about is like it has like the perfect hit rate. He was talking about like optimism at like a buck like 80. He was talking about Polygon at like 50 cents or something, and like Solana shitcoin. It's like he can't miss, but also he never buys any of it.
I never execute.
It's just his mad
only llamas.
And Notional. Hey, I had the only reason that I did the Notional thing that I did the first one was because I had money over there. Like I had like $50 on Arbitrum. It was already there. It was in a wallet that had a llama in it. Like it was perfectly set up to me to where it was just like all I had to do was click, right? And that was like I didn't even have to think about it. But then that's why, and I opened like 7 different trades, and they were just ridiculous. Like I mean, I was borrowing stuff from March. Can you imagine what those did? The ones that I did in that last test. What was it, 4 months ago? And they expire next month. They're 5 months. Were they calls that I was selling? Were they selling calls, Teddy?
You must have been borrowing at fixed rates. That must have been what you were doing.
Oh, okay. I was looking at it like an option position.
You just have a beautiful mind.
I was selling covered calls on ETH. Anyway, I'm sure that I'm like super in the money on that one. I'm up huge. It took until the very end for me to actually make anything on it.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, so right now, if you got money on Arbitrum, go loan it out on Notional, right? Isn't that like the main pitch of this today?
That makes sense. Yeah. Go do that and let me drop the I'm gonna drop the contest link again. You guys should for sure sign up if you
so you 9 days on that, right? 9-day timer.
It starts in 9 days. Yeah, it starts on February 26th, and yeah.
So like the no-brainer for me is to just go throw some USDC over there, loan it out at 47% APY for 9 days, and then roll it into a position.
Yes. I mean, worst case scenario, you make 47% APY, but the best case, right, is that you win the prize. So, yeah.
35% on wrap staked ETH.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Coinbase is 34%. Holy shit.
What else are you guys working on right now, Teddy?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like a lot. Our probably next big thing. Probably the next big thing is we need to deploy V3 on mainnet. So what we have Notional V2 on mainnet, but that is it's like quite outdated. So we've been like focused on Arbitrum for the last like 6 months, because that's where we got V3. But like the next big thing for us is like deploying V3 on mainnet and just really like, because there's like a lot of opportunities for like what we do, and like there's going to be a lot of great yield opportunities on mainnet. So like getting V3 deployed is going to like allow us to capture those, and that's what's going to allow us to do all these like, you know, liquid restaking points, leverage points, all this stuff, right? Is like it's all made possible by deploying V3 on mainnet. And then so we're going to do that. We're going to have all these different leverage shield opportunities at launch, and hopefully we'll have the points, the leveraged points thing at launch. That might take a little bit longer, but we are definitely moving forward there. So I think we're like, and we're also doing like, we're going to do, I talked to you guys a little bit about this, but we're going to have a lot of these leverage vaults that are focused on CRV USD. So I think that, you know, when we get Notional V3 going, we're going to be able to add a lot of liquidity to the CRV USD pools, which I'm looking forward to. And then, you know, it's just really like expanding on mainnet and taking advantage of all those opportunities and burn-in dollar note.
What's a possible connection, Hoth, with Notional with Llamaland? Would you be able to go use collateral of something else, borrow Curve USD, and then go farm it on Notional? I mean, is that like a possibility of like some sort of, you know, combination of the two that we could pitch?
What's Llamaland?
That's the lending protocol that Mitch is working on right now.
Interesting.
Yes, he's I don't know how, like, when it's gonna happen, but it will, like, it's the soft lick, it's the llama with 2 M's protocol. That's and it will be on Arbitrum, soon, trademark.
God, what a perfect combination! But I mean, it'll be after your STIP's over with. But like getting Curve USD vaults up before that, like on, you know, right at the same time as that launch would be amazing. That would be like really good synergy. Like borrow Curve USD and then go deposit it in Notional and farm the shit out of it. Are they doing more STIPs?
I think they probably will. Yeah. They passed this like long-term incentive program, but there's no. It's not for protocols that have gotten a STIP grant, but there's not like, I don't think there's any consensus or anything firm about Arbitrum's plans to provide more liquidity incentives. But my guess is that they probably will, just because, like, you know, it seems like bull market's heating up. You know, L2s are getting super competitive, and like my feeling is that Arbitrum is pretty aggressive, and they're gonna wanna stay aggressive. So
they're gonna need to continue to focus on pulling in new people to them and keeping people there on ARBI, because you have like the attention span of a DeFi nerd. You're like jumping from L2 to L2 to L3 now.
Yeah.
So it's diluting the appeal of ARBI.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's competitive. It's very competitive, right? So like they're definitely in the top spot. But I think that they all know that, like, you know, they're gonna have to, like, you know, that can go away, right? So I think my feeling is that they'll probably continue to incentivize, because like they're gonna want to maintain their #1 spot.
They're going hard after the.
What is Notional's strategy with all these new L2s? Are you guys just like, are you planning to stay true to Arbitrum, or are you gonna like hop around and kind of deploy everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's like a good question. I mean, to be honest, like Notionals we have a really small team right now. Like we're very lean. You know, there's like 5.5 of us. So it's like,
Who's the head?
yeah, it's like it's a small team. It's a small team, so we can't like do a million things. But
Yeah, totally.
yeah, so it's like we're to be honest, we're kind of like focused on putting one foot in front of the other and doing like the next thing, which is for us, it's like deploying V3 on mainnet and doing all this stuff on mainnet. But then would we deploy on another L2? I can tell you for sure that we're not going to go deploy everywhere because that's just like that's going to be a ton of overhead and like most of those like it's not worth investing the time and effort into like most of these roll-ups. Like we ultimately are we want to like make decisions and then like invest in them and focus and not spread ourselves too thin because there's just not very many of us. So like so we might deploy on another L2, but we're definitely not going to do like deploy on every single thing that gives you a grant. That's definitely not what we're going to do.
Have you guys ever talked about doing I don't know how common this is or like how common this conversation is, but what about being able to deposit collateral on mainnet and then mint stables or whatever, or mint node on ARBI, like cross chain or cross L1 L2?
Yeah, I mean it's like I think what I would like I think it's quite challenging to do that in like a way that preserves the trust guarantees, like or like the trust assumptions of Notional. Like we really believe and like care about like being decent. Like I don't know, like we really care about like not taking custody of your funds and not making you trust us. Like that's very important to us. And it's like very, very hard to do that, but we think that ultimately that's like like that's what we want to build. And so like maintaining those like principles is very, very difficult when you're talking about like cross, like what you just said, putting collateral on one chain and minting something on another chain. It's like very, very hard to do that without like basically like just taking custody of the assets. So that's like, yeah, I mean, maybe there's a way we could figure out to do it at some point in the future, but that's like a massive, it's a large undertaking.
All right,
and if somebody's telling you that they can do that, then it's
it's a fever dream. Nobody told me, and you're the first person I've ever asked about this, and I was just scheming on ways to where I could farm more eigenlayer points on mainnet, and then get you to give me stables, borrow fixed rate stables on Arbitrum, and then go farm like 50% APRs on them. That's what I'm thinking about. I just want the money.
I think in practice, if we do some like linking the different instances, like so L1, Arbitrum, maybe Optimism, if there's some linkage, it's going to be a very restricted link, and it's going to be like very like it's going to be like it's just going to be a very small surface area of like how the communication between layers happens, so that we can restrict the risk and make sure it's safe.
Yeah, you have like massive Oracle risk, right?
Yeah. So anyway, I would just say that like the general like, oh, I have something here and I can borrow over there. Like, I mean, yeah, that is like not in the near future, I would say. Yeah.
I think I'm having like a PTSD moment about something that happened like 3 years ago with that, where there was an Oracle hack that. Okay, anyway, so if by the time you guys get done with the contest, you pivot to V3 on mainnet, you get mainnet V3 upload or upgraded and running, then you start the LRT conversation and the EETH borrowing and minting.
Yes.
How long? When EETH
When EETH, man, we're gonna try and do this as quick as possible. Hopefully March.
Jesus, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, we're like getting there in terms of deploying V3 on mainnet. It's like it is happening. You know, we're getting there. But like all the initial parameter proposals are going up on the forum next couple days, and like so we're really getting there. So hopefully it won't be too long. Yeah. But I know because it's like
yeah, that's great. That's so great. Yeah, because I'm really curious with a lot of these points programs because you hope that they don't take too long with the token, and like you're praying to the Swell gods that they turn up pearls into tokens eventually, and not like, oh, you can buy a T-shirt for 4,000 pearls. But
You get swag. That's what the trolls end up being for. That would be so great. It would be worth it to burn all those people just for me to be able to laugh at Irate for the next 3 years about just getting all the tokens, all the points end up getting you is a credit on the merch store for each of these projects.
But yeah, I mean, I'm curious as points has kind of become the meta recently. How long can these protocols get milk that? You know what I mean? But
I do know what
I'm
you
just
mean.
curious. Yeah,
I do. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it's a good because my feeling is that it's like okay that they're gonna want to draw it out for as long as possible because it means they don't have to actually give you tokens, right? Like because I think my thing is like okay, so when EigenLayer or especially with these liquid restaking tokens, because they're all going to be in a fight to be the big one, right? Be the next Lido, and and my feeling is that okay, once they drop their token and they make good on all their points, they're gonna have to keep they're not gonna be able to stop incentivizing, right? Because their competitors are gonna be incentivizing. And so my feeling is that they want to draw it out as long as possible because they know that once they convert the points into tokens, they're actually gonna have to give out more tokens now. Because
once the needle's in,
people will go other places.
So then they just have to start diluting the shit out of the VCs with their own when they start issuing their own tokens, and that's
when they actually start issuing real tokens. Instead
of points.
Instead
points are just a runway for VCs.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a good question. Is the points will be the points get diluted the longer this goes on, right?
Inflation
but,
of
that's
points
in the project's interest.
Yeah, for sure. It's they're racing the clock with tension and also a dilution. But yeah, I mean it's it'll be really interesting to watch. It'll be we'll get one of those. Get your popcorn out.
Yeah.
I had one question after you. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it depends on the users, right? It's if everybody's cool, just continues to be totally fine with just getting points, and then it's well, why do you need why do you actually need to release your token? It's sort of I think it's really it's a dynamic situation that depends on a lot of different things, right? It depends on what their competitors are doing. It also just depends on how long the users are willing to put up with it. Yeah.
They're farming us, aren't they?
100%.
My question, Teddy, was if you like Notional and if you're a llama and you are thinking that you guys have a bullish look and think that you guys are going somewhere and shipping, which you are. What do we do? I thought that the note token was your stable, but is that the Notional
No, that's the thing. No. The note, yeah. So the note token is the thing that will go up if we do well.
Number go up, note, NOTE.
Yeah.
Note is also the
Yeah.
stable for CANTO, isn't it? Hawthorne,
Yes,
isn't that the name
yes,
of the,
that's-
Yeah.
We were
CANTO
there
stable?
first.
Yeah, yeah.
We were there first.
yeah.
I'll just say that. So we were there
Those
first.
sons of
And,
bitches.
yeah. And
They
if
told
you,
me to bridge over and get some fucking CANTO USDC, and I'm like, what's it called? And they're like, note. I'm like, what the hell does Notional have to do with this shithole?
You're like, Teddy would never.
That's funny, man. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
So
note.
so that like with the note, we're like we've been like super focused on the protocol and the product, but we've started to like try and like work more on the token itself. So we implemented like a buy and burn like 2 days ago. So we actually just did our first burn of node tokens this week. And I think that's like if you look forward like past V3 deployment on mainnet and doing all this stuff on mainnet, probably the next thing for us is like figuring out like how to codify make it more concrete how note accrues value and like its function in the notional ecosystem and protocol. Because like right now it's like it's like we do this buy and burn thing, but it's also like it's not encoded, so it's like you kind of have to like trust that like
Trust me, bro. We're gonna buy and burn these tokens.
it's still that, right? So we're trying to get more into where you don't have to like trust that we want to drive value to the token, where it's more just like the token is a part of the protocol and like it's concrete how the like committing to like a certain percentage of like protocol revenues to be used to buy and burn and like encoding that.
Can you borrow against
that's
it right
probably
now?
like, well, I'm sorry, what's that?
Can you borrow against a note token?
Not on Notional. No, I don't think you can borrow against the note token anywhere, unfortunately.
CANTO.
Are you So yeah, can you tell me more about this buy and burn? This is news to me. This is pretty cool. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So basically, it's like this was a change that one of our community members proposed. So it was just like what we have right now for Node. We have a staking module where you can stake your node to an 80-20 balancer liquidity pool, a node ETH liquidity pool, and you get reinvestment yields like from protocol earnings by staking your node into that pool. And what our community member proposed was that we take like 75% of what we were using to like give yield to these LP token holders, and that we burn it instead. So so that's what we started doing, because that went through Snapshot with just massive. Everyone's in favor of that. So from right now, we're giving less yield to the Note LP token holders, but we're burning 75% of what we were originally giving to them. So every week there's like a note burn. Yeah.
So okay, so this makes me
it's a buyback
think
and
of
burn.
like
It's a buyback and burn. Yeah.
okay. And is it like scheduled? Are you going to do it like Merlin candles with Abra, that it was like a secret, or like how are you trying to telegraph it to the market, or like what's the strategy with that? Because you're on your chart, it's like pretty clear.
Well,
where
I
it
don't think
happened.
that. Yeah, but to be fair, that wasn't actually the buy transaction. I think that was just like some people were buying because we actually started to do the buy and burn. I don't think that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, it would be cool if it was that big of a buy that it like had that much market impact, but yeah, it's
massive. We're gonna buy half the supply and burn it from the LPs.
Well, Yeah, I mean, in like 2 or 3 months, you'll be making that like a revenue. I bet. Book it.
If this all
Yeah.
goes as
Remind
planned.
me. 3 months. Yeah.
This is on. It's on mainnet, right? The note token.
Yes. Yes.
I just found out you have a mainnet page, so we're good. I'm already on mainnet.
Yeah.
You're like
Well, I'm just looking for because I
blowing
know.
Cogsy's mind.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Oh, I
Go
said
ahead.
you've just blown Cogsy's mind.
Yeah.
But go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No worries. I was just gonna say like I'm just looking. I'm looking forward to like when we have the UI unified, so we have Arbitrum and Ethereum on the same site, and we don't have to go to these different sites. Because I know it's really confusing. It's just we're getting it out there piece by piece. Yeah.
All right. Well,
sure.
I'm gonna link the ARBI contest page in the announcement when after I put the recording up. And we hit an hour, so I'm just gonna let you wrap up, Teddy. I don't want to burn the rest of your afternoon. Happy Friday.
Yeah, for sure. This is great. I really enjoyed coming here, and it's great talking to you guys. So I don't mind at all. But yeah, so I'll post the contest link here in the chat again. If you guys want to sign up or you have any problems or questions, just let me know in the Notional Discord. And then that's it. And I guess I will let you guys know once you can go levered long points. I will let you know. Don't worry. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, Teddy.
I appreciate it as always. It's always nice to catch up with you, Teddy.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna wrap it. We got a pretty small crowd today. We're back to where we started, Hoth. Back when we said we have upwards of 7 users.
I mean, we've also had a call like every day this week. So
yeah, every day. plus Leviathan, plus Twitter Spaces.
Because you were up at like 2 a.m. yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday was 2 a.m.
morning to do the South African time.
The Joburg. Remember that movie where they throw the cat food cans at the alien?
Yeah.
That's where that was. All right, I'm gonna go kill the recording. Thanks again, Teddy.
Cool.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.